Yeah, good morning all. Good morning and good evening all. Today we are going to have our meditation with Swami for 25 minutes and followed by detailed discussion on habits and habit transformation with Susheel. And Q&A will be there and few new announcements too. Without delay, let's get started. Over to you, Swami.
Om Namaskars and love to all our esteemed IWSP participants. Once again, we are all together on a Sunday morning. Yoga, International Day of Yoga. Recently, it was celebrated all over the world, 21st June. As we know very well, by the word we mean yoga, we mean becoming one. And we also know it is the 7th step, dhyana, then 8th step is samadhi. We have to learn the basics again and again. Yama niyama, asana pranayama, pratyahara dharana, then comes dhyana, meditation. To be a yogi, to be a person qualified for meditation, we need to follow few basics. Ahimsa satya asteya brahmacharya parigraha, shaucha santosha tapas swadhyaya ishvara pranidhanani. These are the basic disciplines that all of us have to practice to become a fit candidate to practice asana and pranayama. Asana, when practiced properly, we get physical health. Shariramadhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. When you get that physical health, you will be able to proceed more. Where you have to learn pranayama, how to breathe properly. When you breathe properly, we get absolute control over our mind, which is nothing but bundle of thoughts, on our emotions. A person whose thoughts and emotions are controlled can alone stay away from all the obstacles which come in the path of meditation. Pratyahara. Then, when you constantly start thinking about the right things that we need to do and practices, dharana, constantly you start thinking on the goal of life. When you are constantly thinking on the highest goal of life, dharana, then when you sit for meditation, dhyana, you start enjoying meditation. In the beginning, one may find very difficult to sit and meditate for 5 minutes. The body may ache. The mind may be very restless. But with all these preparations, when one practices meditation, he starts enjoying 5 minutes, then it will be increased to 10, 20, 30, 40, 1 hour, 2 hours. He'll sit and meditate and he'll feel joy and love to meditate more and more. The secret of meditation, as already told, one who has got control on his mind and emotions, for which pranayama is of great help. There is one more thing which helps more than the asana and pranayama, that is love for God. A Jesus, a Buddha, a Ishvara, Allah, whoever the God you believe in, you should have love for God. Generally, we have love for things around us, people around us. Unfortunately, we have forgotten the highest jewels which are already within us, which are very subtle, sukshma. And also, the highest things, the highest phenomenon which is called as God, which is nothing but your real self, is already within us. So when you understand this, your love for God, which is already within you, the things, the jewels are already within you, that love increases. When this love for inner world increases, automatically the love for outside things reduced. So when you start developing more and more love for God, automatically you start enjoying meditation. So we should always try to develop that love towards God, and that helps a lot for meditation. Who was Rama, who was Krishna, came as Sri Ramakrishna in these modern times and said, God realization should be the highest goal of life. Speaking truth is the highest austerity, tapasya. To lead a happy and harmonious life in one's own life, in one's family life, in community life, is a great tapasya. Said Sri Sharada Devi, Holy Mother. Swami Vivekananda, nothing great can be achieved without an organization. So, if you want to achieve something great, you have to work in an organized manner. We need lot of people which are to be put in an organization and achieve the goal. This is what Swami Vivekananda said, and also formed this Ramakrishna Math and Mission, which is a spiritual organization working for the welfare of the society, but the main focus is God realization. Atmano mokshartham jagadhitaya cha. Everybody should write this Mahavakya given by Swami Vivekananda and read daily, focus it on, think. Swami Vivekananda's thoughts will start percolating through you. Atmano mokshartham jagadhitaya cha. For the salvation of one's own self and also for the good of the world. Abhyudaya nishrayasaha. Whatever we do outside, it is for the welfare of the society, material welfare of the society. And you do that without expecting anything in return, what you get is that love for God. Nishrayasaha. I don't want anything, I got everything which is already within me. I just want to be with my Lord, meditate on Him and be happy and enjoy those blissful moments. My dear IWSP participants, every time you sit for meditation, all these thoughts should be there. With these thoughts, when you sit for meditation, you'll start enjoying. We should inspire ourselves with higher thoughts. Then meditation becomes easy. Let us try to meditate for 10-15 minutes together now. Sthira Sukham Asanam. So be seated in a comfortable, at the same time, a fixed posture. Padmasana, Sukhasana, Siddhasana. Those who can sit down on a mat and get these postures. Those who are not able to sit down, sit on your chair, but both the foot should be placed properly on the ground. The back and the neck in a straight line. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Eyes closed for the outer world, open for the inner world. We have placed the right palm over the left palm and placed between the two thighs. Now the focus is on the breath. Let us make our breath deep and long. Usually our breaths are shallow and narrow and fast. By focusing on the breath, we have made our breathing pattern as deep as possible and as slow as possible. Based on your practices, it should be natural. Sahaja, Sarala, Pranayama. These are the words. Sahaj, Saral, Pranayam. When the breath becomes deep and long, automatically the mind calms down. A calm and quiet mind is very vital for our meditation proper. Before we do that, let us pray for the contentfulness, happiness, welfare of all the beings. Chara Achara, the movable, the immovable beings. By praying for the wellness, joy, happiness, contentfulness of all the beings, we are going to get benefited with well-beingness, contentfulness, joy and happiness. So let us pray and send these vibrations in all the directions. May all the beings in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south, above, below, wherever they are, let them be happy. Let them be contentful. Let them be in a state of bliss and wellness, swasthya, ananda, shanti, tripti. सभी जीव जंतु पशु पक्षी मानव जनांग जहाँ भी हैं वहाँ पे वो शांति में रहे, तृप्ति में रहे, आनंद में रहे, स्वास्थ्य में रहे। सभी का शांति, तृप्ति, आनंद, स्वास्थ्य के लिए प्रार्थना करते करते हमारे भीतर से ही एक आनंद का, शांति का, तृप्ति का, स्वास्थ्य का लहर उठ रहा है। We are feeling blessed, we are feeling happy, joy, contentful, and we are in a state of highest wellness. Now, let us go and offer our Sashtanga Pranams to our Rishis, Avatara Purushas, all the great teachers, all the noble people who are constantly working for the welfare of this society. So let us go and offer our Sashtanga Pranams to our Rishis and all the Avatara Purushas, all the great souls and noble people who are constantly working for the welfare of the society. By offering Sashtanga Pranams, we are receiving the blessings. The blessings of all is very vital for any good work that we take up. Meditation is the highest noble work that we can do for ourselves and for our others. So, with the blessings of all, now let us proceed in our meditation proper. The place where we are going to meditate is deep within. An infinite space which is deep within. The Sukshma Jagat, the subtle inner world, that's where we have to enter and meditate. Before we go and meditate there, let us chant Om. Om is symbol of God. Om is the symbol of self, consciousness, Brahman, Atman, Bhagavan, Ishwar, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. Om, when chanted properly, purifies one's body, mind, intellect and emotions. A pure body and mind, a pure emotion and intellect is very vital for our meditation. Let us chant Om 3 times. By chanting Om, we are going to get purified. We are going to experience our real self and the pure vibrations are going to percolate through our body, mind and emotions. Let us chant Om and get a bath in the pure Omkara, pure consciousness, Atman, Brahman, God. Breathe in. When you are breathing out, chant Om. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Eyes closed for the outer world, open for the inner world. Deep and long breath. Sahaj Saral Pranayam. Prayers for the welfare of all. Blessings from all. Chanting Om. Becoming one with Om. Now let us go and enter our spiritual heart, the inner world, the Sukshma Jagat, the infinite space which can be imagined in the beginning, experienced later. Just right to the physical heart from where our emotions arise, that is the place. Go enter deep there. There our Ishtadevata, our beloved Lord, is already present. Go and offer your Sashtanga Pranams to your Ishtadevata. Look at his divine face, divine smile. The divine light which is emerging through him. Chidghana Murti, the pure consciousness which has taken the form of our Ishtadevata. Go and offer your Sashtanga pranams to your Ishtadevata. He is so happy to receive you. Take his blessings. Sit in front of him in a comfortable posture. We have entered our spiritual heart. Hridaya Akasha. We are with our Ishtadevata, our beloved Lord. He is so happy to have us. He is so happy to receive us. And you are so blessed to be with him. These are the wonderful, memorable, blissful moments that we can really spend in our life. Sthira Sukham Asanam, Sarala Pranayama, Hridaya Akasha, Ishtadevata, pure consciousness. Now let us meditate on the divine qualities of our Ishtadevata, beloved Lord. Our beloved Lord is Parama Prema Swarupa. He is love personified. He loves everybody for the sake of love, never expecting anything in return. Love for the sake of love. Parama Prema Swarupa. He is Sarvagya. He knows the present, past and the future. He is the knower of everything. Nothing happens without his knowledge. Everything happens with his knowledge. Rather, everything comes out of that pure knowledge. Jnanam. He is Sarvashakta. He is the highest power, energy, by which everything occurs, origins, exists for some time and again goes back. He is Sarvavyapi. He is there everywhere. Parama Prema Swarupa, Sarvagya, Sarvashakta, Sarvavyapi. Let us meditate on these divine qualities. Yadbhavam Tadbhavati. By meditating on the divine qualities, we imbibe those divine qualities. Devam Bhutva Devam Ejet. To meditate on God, you should become God Himself. And by meditating on God, you will become God. It's vice versa. So now let us meditate in silence and become a spiritual dynamo. Sthira Sukham Asanam, Sarala Pranayama, spiritual heart, meditating on the divine qualities, Parama Prema Swarupa, Sarvashakta, Sarvavyapi, Sarvagya. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Oh my Lord, I am so happy to be with you, meditating for a few minutes and enjoying that bliss, joy and happiness. Though I want to be in this state of meditation constantly, I have to move to my next activities of the day. I'll go finish off and come back and again be with you. Promising thus, slowly come out and feel the body, rub your hands. Eyes closed, meditating on God. Eyes opened, looking everything with the right attitude. What is that right attitude? Everything is divine. There is nothing other than divine. Everything is pure, knowledge, Sat Chit Ananda. With this attitude, do all your work, all your seva, and again come back and pray. O Lord, with your blessings, I could do a little from my side. Bless me so that I can more and more, do more and more. With this prayer, go and read some good books. Then again try to meditate. Then go to deep sleep. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga. Sorry. Synthesis of 4 yogas. By the word yoga, as we said, to become one with God, to get identified with our real nature. So, International Day of Yoga, which we celebrated on 21st June, should be practiced every day, every moment. So, my best wishes and prayers for all of you to lead a wonderful yoga as way of life. Namaskar. Thank you.
Yeah, Susheel, I'm sharing the screen.
Okay. So you can just put me on focus for the time being.
Yeah, sure.
Start. Thank you, Swamiji. As always, beautiful meditation. So today, I am going to talk about a very simplified version of the science and philosophy of lifestyle disorders. I have never ever discussed this with you before. So even those of you who have been with IWSP for 2 years, please pay very close attention. And especially the ones that have joined new, please pay very close attention, because you'll fully understand today how lifestyle disorders happen and how you can cure them. So number one, when we are born, all of us, unless we have some congenital defect, normal organs. Our liver is 100% normal. Our kidney is 100% normal. Our pancreas are 100% normal. Everything is 100% normal. It's just like the brand new car that you get delivered to your door from the factory, which has everything brand new. The tires are brand new, the engine is brand new, transmission is brand new, and everything is in fully functional status. And that is how we are born. That is our natural state. Our natural state is wellness, not illness. That is our natural state. Now, unfortunately, in the nature, there is constant interaction going on and interdependence and interattack going on. And gradually what happens is that there are some things in the nature outside and inside that begin to disturb our natural state, and we start moving away from wellness. So remember these two concepts of illness and wellness. When we are born in our natural state, we are given organs that are fully functional and we have 100% wellness. Then how do we move from wellness to illness as we grow older and develop these lifestyle disorders? This should be the question. So let us evaluate that. Today, I'm going to tell you how, when you start damaging your cells in the body continuously, either through your own nature, which compels you to put in your mouth the kind of food that you should not be eating, or your own nature, which compels you to put in your mind the thoughts that you should not be putting. You begin this process called inflammation. And inflammation is that begins your reverse journey from wellness to illness. But it takes a long time. And right now, if you're 20, 30, 40 years old, your liver, your pancreas, your lungs, your kidneys are not 100% natural anymore. You've moved away from that because of the factors that I just illustrated. So let's take the example of pancreas in somebody who has now become diabetic. So how did he become diabetic? He's diabetic because more than 55 to 60% pancreatic cells are no longer functional. The islets of Langerhans, the cells in the pancreas that release insulin, more than 55 to 60% are non-functional. When you reach that state of non-functionality of 55 to 60% cells of the pancreas, you become diabetic. So let us say this is the inner state of the organ of pancreas of a person who has diabetic. So you can hypothesize that his pancreas now, 1/3 of pancreas is dead permanently because of natural assault, because of how he lived, because of how he behaved, right? The other third is dysfunctional, but temporarily. So you can say 1/3 is dead, 1/3 is sleeping, and 1/3 of his pancreas is overworking because there is a tremendous capacity in our body to compensate whenever there is a damage in any organ of the body. So let us begin first with the overfunctional. The overfunctional part that is constantly working over time eventually will also get exhausted, right? So you are now left with two options. Either you revive the ones that are dead permanently, or you rejuvenate the ones that are dysfunctional temporarily. And if you achieve these two goals, the overfunctionality settles down, the pancreas, which is working overtime and getting exhausted, settles down, and you become non-diabetic. So let us say that two people who develop diabetes, and this is exactly how their pancreas look like. 1/3 dead, 1/3 temporarily dysfunctional, and 1/3 overfunctional. And their blood sugar now is over 400. The hemoglobin A1C is 9, 10, 11. And they both go to different doctors. One goes to a regular medical doctor, and one goes to a lifestyle doctor. So let us first talk about the one that goes to the regular doctor. The one that goes to the regular doctor says, you have high sugar, you have high hemoglobin A1C, you have diabetes. We can take care of it. We can give you metformin, we can give you insulin, we can give you glipizide and all those medicines. And let us say he puts you on all these three medicines. That is the standard medical care for diabetes. Now you come home and you do that for a week or 2 weeks, you go back and you say, aha, see, now your sugar is 200. So these medicines are working. You are very happy. You go back again 2 or 3 months later, and he says, oh, your hemoglobin A1C has now come down to 7. Your sugar is 140. You're very happy. And then you go and announce in the public, I was diabetic, I took insulin, I took metformin, I took glipizide. My insulin is now gone. My hemoglobin A1C is 7. My sugar is now 130, 140. I'm very happy. I'm diabetic. I'm controlled. And this is called a victory by an endocrinologist or a medical doctor for a diabetic patient. So first caveat, whatever he has put you on, the metformin and the glipizide, you now have to take for the rest of your life. And you're quite happy taking it for the rest of your life and living with diabetes. The other person says, no, I am going to change my lifestyle. What am I going to do? I think I know what is happening in my pancreas. There are 1/3 cells in my pancreas that are dysfunctional temporarily. And I know if there is any cell in the body that is dysfunctional, if you supply it 3 things, it revives. Always think in your body, if you supply 3 things to any organ of your body, it revives. So what are those 3 things? I will improve circulation to my dysfunctional pancreatic cells. I am going to do some things that bring healthy, good blood to my dysfunctional cells, the ones that are sleeping. Number 2, I will give them good nutrition so that they revive. Number 3, I'm going to give them plenty of oxygen. Maybe they have hypoxic, their oxygen level is down. So this person, what he does is, he gives good circulation to pancreas, he gives good nutrition to pancreas, he gives good oxygen to pancreas, and the temporarily dysfunctional cells, the ones that are sleeping, on the verge of dying, they rejuvenate. They rejuvenate and they become alive. When they become alive, the overfunctional cells say, okay, looks like we are working now, and they also tone down their working, and they are not exhausted. Over a period of time, all dysfunctional cells are revived. The overfunctional cells come into natural state. Some of the dead permanently cells also get revived by good circulation, good nutrition, and good oxygen. And now this person's blood sugar comes down to 120. His hemoglobin A1C comes down to 5.6. He is non-diabetic now. So you saw the difference? You have a choice. You have a choice to treat your illness with medications and not allow your pancreas to go back to its natural state of health and restore wellness and cure diabetes, or you supply the pancreas the good circulation, good nutrition, good oxygen, revive the pancreas naturally, restore its natural state, and get away from medications. This should be now perfectly clear to you. So you might say, this hypothesis, am I conjuring this up, or is there a scientific basis for this? This exactly was the scientific basis for the DPP study. You should seriously study the DPP study and then see this again, the presentation that I'm doing, and you'll understand the philosophy. So what did they do in DPP study, Diabetes Prevention Program? They said, let's look at and see if changing lifestyle or giving metformin, what is best for people with diabetes. So why did they come to this premise? They came to this premise because they found out that the fundamental reason for developing diabetes is insulin resistance. And we know that metformin lowers insulin resistance. We also know lifestyle transformation improves insulin resistance. So we'll see which one works better. So half the patient of diabetes, they put them on metformin. And half the patients, they told them that you will change their lifestyle. But there were two goals of lifestyle they had to attain. And what were the two goals? The first goal was that you have to reduce your weight by minimum 7%. So if you're weighing 70 kilos today, you have to lose 7 kilos, 7%. The second rule was that you have to exercise for 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week, which is 150 minutes a week. So regular exercise and weight loss and no medicine. The other group, they said, you keep doing what you're doing, but you take your metformin. And they saw them 6 months later. There's no doubt that people that took metformin also improved. But the metformin group improved its diabetes in 25%. Those who lost 7 kilo weight or 7% weight and exercise 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week, their diabetes improved in 56%. So this study clearly proves that compared to metformin, weight loss and exercise is twice as effective. So now you have a very clear paradigm. You could translate this to your kidney, you can translate this to liver, you can translate to heart, you can translate to brain, and you know, we are born with 100% cells working normally. Because of inflammation, the cells start dying. Some die, some become dysfunctional, some become overfunctional, and we compensate. Now you're going to say, doctor, how do I know how many dead cells, how many dysfunctional cells, how many overfunctional cells we have? You do any test available today, it only measures illness. All the tests that are developed by science are developed to measure illness. You will be surprised to know, you go for your wellness test to your doctor, there is no test for wellness. There's nothing that tells you that you're working 100%. When you cross certain threshold and your sugar starts rising or hemoglobin A1C starts rising, then the test becomes, oh yes, your pancreas is damaged. But if you're damaged 10% of your pancreas, there is no test available. If you've damaged 20% of your pancreas, there is no test available. If you've damaged 40% of your pancreas, there is no test available. When it damaged 55%, then there's a test. Your glucose tolerance test becomes abnormal, your hemoglobin A1C goes up. So what does this tell you? This tells you that all these tests that you're doing to know whether you do or you do not have illness are wrong. They only tell you when you have illness. They don't tell you how well you are. Then you're going to say, what do we do? What test do we do? You don't do tests. You practice wellness. When you practice wellness, you keep your organs well. So you're born in a natural state of 100% normal pancreas and kidneys, and you gradually go on damaging as you keep advancing age. And when you die, these cells are dead in all the organs of the body. So it's one continuous journey from life to death. The onus is upon you to remember that in this journey, always 1/3 of the cells of the body are temporarily dysfunctional. 1/3 of the cells are overfunctional. You have a choice, you have an opportunity to rest the overfunctional cells so that they also do not get exhausted and become dysfunctional. And you have to do 3 things to improve dysfunctional cells: provide good circulation, good oxygen, and good nutrition to these cells. And you know how you do that. You do that through DASH. So after listening to this, you should have absolutely no doubt in your mind, what is illness, how it happens? What is wellness, how it happens? How can I keep my body organs well all the time? You keep them well all the time by following DASH. Now, you will say, well, yes, DASH, very good, but how can you do DASH? I do this, but I can't do that. I can do this, but it's difficult for me. I can do this, but I don't have time. I want to do this, but my husband prevents me from doing it. I want to do this, but the society is set up in such a way that I don't get good food. I want to do this, but there's no organic food available. There are 1 million excuses for not doing what you're supposed to do. But begin to do what you're supposed to do. Now, when you start changing your thought process and your habits, there are barriers that are going to come. There are only 3 barriers to change, and let's discuss those. Can I have my next slide, please? Okay. So what are the 3 pillars of habit transformation? The 3 pillars of habit transformation are self-control, mental resilience, and cognitive restructuring. So let me explain to you what that means. Let me begin with cognitive restructuring. It's a very long English word. It simply means changing your thought process. Soch badalna. Everything changes in life when the thought changes. Now, you today have had a very long discussion on wellness. If you're focused on wellness, you have a different thought process. If you're focused on illness, you have a different thought process. So when you come to IWSP, Swamiji and I, we only talk about wellness. We don't talk about illness. When you go to your doctor, he only talks about illness. When he talks about illness and he tells you how ill you are, and he tells you how bad these tests are, and he tells you have to take these illness medicines, now your entire thought process is focused on illness. So what do you need to do? You constantly need to focus on wellness. And I told you, how do you focus on wellness? Remembering 2 basic fundamental facts of wellness. Number 1 is a physical fact. Number 2 is a mental fact. The mental fact is that you will only put the thoughts that are good, positive, sakaratmak, positive thinking in your mind. The thought of wellness, the thinking of wellness, the knowledge of wellness, the talk of wellness, the discussion of wellness only. You're not going to go open up internet and look at illness, disease, tests, procedures, surgeries. Those are all the thoughts of illness. When you constantly focus on wellness, you have given me the opportunity actually. I tell you, because I have to do these talks all the time when I open internet, I'm only looking at this wellness and that wellness because I have to look for material to present to you. So just by trying to do this for you, all I see on the internet all the time is wellness. I don't see illness. So my knowledge of illness is decreasing. I'm not as knowledgeable as I was 5 years ago when I was treating these illnesses in my practice. My knowledge of illness is really decreasing. My knowledge of wellness is increasing. And that is how I am changing my thoughts. That is how cognitive restructuring is coming in my mind. And you will get it too. At the physical level, the cognitive restructuring you have to do is you have to constantly think, whatever I'm doing in my daily life, whether it's exercise or no exercise, eating, sleeping, talking, breathing, putting something in my mouth, is this going to do 3 things? Improve circulation to my cells, improve nutrition to my cells, improve oxygenation to my cells? Or is it going to do the opposite? If it's going to do the opposite, it's going to give you inflammation and organ damage. If it is going to do what I'm telling you it should do, good circulation, good oxygen, good nutrition, it's going to give you healing. And when it gives you healing, you go towards wellness. So this is a fundamental fact that should be clear in your mind. When that is clear, habit transformation becomes easy. Then you go to the second step that I wrote there, mental resilience. Resilience means bouncing back from an adversarial physical or mental situation to as close to normal as possible and then behaving in a normal way. This power only comes by meditation. There's no other way. So if you focus on wellness, meditate on wellness, improve your resilience, you will have an opportunity to change your habits. Now you come to the third part, self-control. Self-control is the key to habit change But why did I say it's third? Because when I practiced myself, I found out that I failed in self-control in many things. And then when I philosophically, really, really deeply thought about it, I realized the first step to self-control is cognitive restructuring, changing your thought. The second step is holding on to the thought tight in your mind by doing meditation and improving mental resilience. And then if you practice self-control, you will succeed. Now you know why self-control fails. So in self-control, you also have to do two more practices constantly. One, people that have negative thinking, what they do is called delayed discounting. Every smoker knows that smoking causes lung cancer. Then you say, why doesn't he exert self-control to quit smoking? There's a reason. He does delayed discounting. He says, okay, cancer will happen, but when I'm 70 years old, why should not I enjoy my cigarette now? This is called delayed discounting. What is going to happen in future, in the delayed part, is discounting it so that he can have instant pleasure of smoking, right? Then he looks at, oh, 35% of people get cancer of lung from smoking, but 65% don't. What if I'm 80 years old and I belong to that 65%, and I denied my body the pleasure of smoking all my life? Oh my God, how will I feel? No, let me smoke. See how cognitive restructuring in a negative way impacts self-control? That is called delayed discounting. Don't do that. Don't say that blood pressure cannot happen to you if you're eating too much salt. Don't say that you will not become diabetic if you're not exercising and you're gaining weight. Don't say that you will not get heart attack if your lifestyle is wrong and your cholesterol is high and you're sedentary. Please don't discount those things. The opposite of delayed discounting is called episodic futuristic thinking. So it's a long word. Let me explain to you. Imagine a future scenario of wellness in your mind. You're 80 years old and you're fit, healthy, playing with the grandchildren, running around. All the body organs are healthy. You have good nutrition, good oxygen, good circulation to all the organs of the body. If you have to have that, you have to have self-control today. So that is called positive futuristic thinking. You should also do in negative futuristic thinking, and that is, okay, I'm leading the life the wrong way, and now I'm 70 years old, my lungs are not working, my kidneys is gone, my pancreas is gone, I'm going to the hospital all the time. The grandchildren want to come and play with me, but how can I play? I have arthritis, I can't get up, I have to take medicines, I'm cranky, I'm irritable. What do the grandchildren do? They say, well, leave the grandpa away. So you've lost all the pleasures of life in your old life because you're miserable and you're sick and you have multiple illnesses. This futuristic thinking, if you do in mind, which is negative, but this will also improve your self-control by telling you, okay, I don't want to be this grandpa who is sick and miserable and cranky. And then you will have more self-control now. So anyway, today I thought I'll be part scientific and part philosophical with you. And I hope I gave you 3 very good reasons to think about how to change your habit. I gave you 3 very good ways of looking at how all the body organs become unhealthy and you go to illness, and how all these organs become healthy and you go to wellness. I gave you 3 things to think about all the time when you're not doing something or doing something, when you're eating or not eating, when you're thinking or not thinking. Always constantly keep in the background, I have to give every cell of my body good circulation, good nutrition, good oxygen, so that I keep them as close to its natural state as possible, so that I stay well for the rest of my life. Any questions? Please feel free to ask. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, any questions here?
There can be only 2 reasons. I think everybody liked this and enjoyed it, understood everything that I said, or maybe it was too complicated. The only two reasons for no questions. Can anybody have any questions? Bhaskar ji, Andeli ji, no questions?
So actually, we had a few old questions, so I just posted that.
You see a few things in chat. Let me see what they are.
Yes, one for
Dear all, posted questions. Good time. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. How to give good oxygen to cells? Very nice question from Nirmala ji. To give good oxygen to cell, all the practices that are listed in the IWSP program. On the scientific side, nutrition, whole food, plant-based diet, and avoiding toxins, being active. When you become active, you do exercise, you do yoga, you increase the oxygen in the body by increasing circulation, and you spend more nutrition to different organs of the body. Pranayama. When you're doing pranayama, you're oxygenating every part of your lung, forcing the upper, the mid, the lower, all the cells to open. It's a hyperoxygenated state. You are moving all the toxins out through breathing. See, you have, think about it, in your body, you have constantly toxins coming in your body. When you always are focused on what you put inside the body, right? In. Also focus on elimination. Elimination is a very, very strong process emphasized in nature cure. You eliminate toxins in the body. Constantly cells are dying and generating toxins that have to go out of the body. How does elimination happen? Elimination happens through defecation. When you go in the morning and you defecate, there's elimination. So make sure that your bowels are regular, you're not constipated, you don't have diarrhea, you have good, normal bowel movement. That is normal elimination. You eliminate through urination. In the urine, the toxins go out of the body through urine. You eliminate in sweat. When you exercise, you sweat and you eliminate toxins. The more you exercise, the more toxins you eliminate. And the fourth way to eliminate is through your breathing. You take good oxygen in and you take carbon dioxide out. When you're doing Bhasrika, when you're doing Kapalbhati, you're forcibly increasing good oxygen in the body, and you're forcibly releasing the toxic carbon dioxide in the body. So you're improving oxygenation in the whole body. By exercising, you're improving circulation and sending nutrition to all the parts of the body. So that is how you improve nutrition, oxygen, and circulation to your body. Yoga, pranayama. How do you improve nutrition? What is the nutrition of the mind? The nutrition of the mind is good thoughts. To put good thoughts in your mind, you first have to arrest the cycle of the bad thoughts in the mind. And therefore, meditation is the best way to improve circulation, oxygenation, and nutrition to your mind. So if you're doing meditation, you're doing pranayama, you're doing yoga, you're following DASH principles, you don't have to worry about taking nutrition, oxygen, and circulation to your body. And you're already also improving all your eliminations. The elimination, your bowels become regular, your urination is normal, you're sweating normally, and you're exhaling carbon dioxide normally. It's as simple as that.
There's a detailed question, doctor.
Okay, Dr. Sharma, my doctor tells me that my score is 220 CT with contrast, so I do not have tight plaques, which doesn't mean, okay, but it's a very good question. Who is this from? Shala Shankar, okay. So coronary artery calcium is a surrogate for blockages. If you have a coronary artery calcium score of 220, you have already started developing blockages in your arteries, okay? Now, if it keeps progressing, if it gets like over 300 or 400, you come to a stage where a lot of blockages, and you may end up needing a stent or a bypass. So nothing to worry, okay? My calcium score also was 130 when I started aggressively all these practices, and I don't check it now, I don't need to, because I know it's improving, okay? So if your calcium score is 220, it tells you that whatever you're doing is causing the blockages to build in your circulation. Your circulation is not healthy. Nutrition to your arteries is not healthy. oxygenation to your arteries is not healthy. What can you do now? Change your diet, change your thought process, do exercise, be active, sleep well, change your habits, move away from what causes the plaques to build up: salt, oil, sugar, meat, dairy, processed foods. 6 things cause blockages. Simple. They're all toxic foods in your body that affect your circulation, oxygen, and nutrition negatively. What are the 4 things that improve the circulation, oxygen, nutrition in the body? The whole food plant-based diet, the green leafy vegetables, fresh fruits, eat as close to the natural state as possible, whole grain, not polished grain, and the lentils, unpolished lentils, the unsplit dal, the natural dal, grams, lentils including peas and lobia, rajma, those kind of things. So change your nutrition, change your thoughts, do yoga, meditation, pranayama, change your habits, exercise regularly, and then calcium score from 220 over 5 years will come down. And even if calcium score does not improve, your arteries will not block, you will not get a heart attack, you will not get a stent, you will not get a stroke. Remember, I made this statement before, and I will be showing you this very shortly in a month or 2 or 3. I have, for the past 2 months, been working on a coronary artery disease reversal program. I believe that 80 to 90% of blockages can be cured, reversed, and managed. And I will present to you the protocol in about a month or 2. It's almost ready. And then we'll do a scientific study on that to demonstrate that, yes, it happens over a period of 1 year. And I'll come back to you in 1 year with the evidence. But be rest assured, this is exactly the foundational principle of my coronary artery disease reversal program. Any more questions?
Yeah, that's also actually there is one question from our question bank, like please guide something about yoga nidra. Is it good for quick and complete sleep?
Yoga nidra?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Swamiji. Swamiji, please take that question.
Just don't go with fancy words. It will just be from all nonsense thoughts, with good thoughts, free from nonsense thoughts. That's it. If you do that, you will get deep sleep. Do whatever is all taught in IWSP. We did not repeat. Those who are new, go and see all the 12 modules. Those who are old, don't go with all these fancy words. Just do what is taught. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, Shaila ji added one more point, like, thanks, doctor. I am asked to take 10 mg of retrovesting every day.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. In the short run, it will definitely stabilize the plaque. It is going to prevent progression of the plaque. And in the long run, the dash is going to actually help you with the plaque. So do both right now. That's a good thing. Please keep doing that.
Yeah, so in terms of our practices in dash, can we have mention of the practices in order of importance?
All 4 are equally important. So if you want to have 25% wellness only, you pick up 1. If you want 50% wellness, you pick up 2. If you want 75% wellness, you pick up 3. And if you want 100% wellness, you pick up 4. We want you to have 100% wellness. So all 4 are equally important. Don't let your mind play tricks in your mind to tell you, find a shortcut, find an easy answer, or this is too much to do. It is not too much to do. It is fun to do. Once you start doing it, you realize how much fun it is. Everything is, I tell you, when I gave up sugar and I switched to fruits, and I eat fruits like there's no end to it. Whenever I have to snack, I snack on fruit. I'm like in the ashramas, we have 40 trees with 50,000 mangoes, too many mangoes. Ashrama has a policy not to sell mangoes. So I get 2 on the breakfast, 3 on the lunch, and about 3 at dinner time. I'm eating 8 to 10 mangoes a day. I love it. So once I did that, I realized that it's so joyful to eat fruits. And it was so depressing to have sugar, tea, cakes, pastries. They always gave me sugar surge and a crash, sugar surge and a crash. When you eat fruits, you get elevated and you stay like that because sugar does not have high glycemic index. Fruits do not have high glycemic index. The sugar goes up gradually, slowly, and stays up and comes down gradually because it's associated with fiber in the fruits. Whereas pure sugar in the sweets gives you a spike, no doubt. You feel very good. You have this intense enthusiasm and power and comes in your mind with tea and sweets. But then there's a crash. And you keep managing this up and down all day with that. You have a choice.
Right, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So
We are on time. And
so we'll be connecting it by, again, Palla. So we'll be connecting it by 6 p.m. for India as well as 6 a.m. for US or in other countries. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.